how things may have changed if Lok Sabha elections were held today, and they're not going to be held in a hurry, possibly in the first 100 days.
Views expressed in this blog are hosted on my own website, are strictly personal, and do not reflect the views of any organization.
Namaskar, hello and welcome to Straight Bat, my weekly video blog where, as the title suggests, I comment with a straight bat. Now, the India Today See Voter biannual survey has just come out. I know that this is not a good time to be a pollster because most people after the exit polls of June 2004 have lost faith in pollsters. Ye tukka marte hain, many people believe. But while pollsters may have taken a huge credibility hit, the fact of the matter is that any tracker poll with a large sample, as the See Voter sample is, should be taken relatively seriously, and therefore this being the first major polling exercise since the general elections threw up an extraordinary verdict, I think it needs to be taken as a marker of how things may have changed possibly in the first 100 days of Modi 3.0, or should we now call it NDA 3.0, since we are in a coalition age. And I'm going to bring you today the 10 big takeaways from the India Today See Voter Mood of the Nation poll, because I believe they reflect what my headline says, हवा बदल रही है लेकिन slowly, धीरे से बदल रही है. Takeaway number 1, Narendra Modi is still Neta number 1. But, and this is an important but, he is no longer the kind of dominant figure he was in 2014 and 2019. You see, after the 2019 elections, when the Mood of the Nation poll was done, Mr. Modi's popularity was over 60%. Now, when a direct question is asked, who do you want as your Prime Minister? 49% in the Mood of the Nation poll chose Mr. Modi. That's below 50%. Rahul Gandhi was next best with 22%. So you could argue that Mr. Modi is still the man to beat in a direct face-off election, and India is not, as the general election showed, a presidential style election. But Mr. Modi is down from the high 50s and 60% plus ratings he once got routinely. He is in that sense now mortalized, mortal ban gaye hain. He is not a non-biological god, but a mortal, as these numbers are now showing. Takeaway number 2, the BJP is still party number 1, and it still holds on to about a 37-38% vote share across India as per this Mood of the Nation. The Congress, though, is the party on the rise because it has now gone up to 25%, a sharp increase from the 19% that was done in the previous Mood of the Nation in January. What we are seeing is clearly the Congress on an upward trajectory. Now, we don't know whether this 25% will rise further, but it's the highest the Congress has been in the last few years in a Mood of the Nation. So, हवा बदल रही है और कांग्रेस उसका benefit ले रही है. Not as much as they may hope at this stage, but there is a clear sense that the Congress is on the upswing while the BJP remains steady, almost plateaued at 37%, 38%. Takeaway number 3, if Lok Sabha elections were held today, and they're not going to be held in a hurry, the BJP and its allies would be above 272. In fact, they would be close to where they are today. They would be around 299. At the moment, they are 294, still around that 290-300 mark as per this Mood of the Nation poll. I don't take this translation of numbers from vote share into seats very seriously after what happened in the exit polls. The Congress, by contrast, as per this poll, gets around 106 seats, up from 99 in the Lok Sabha. The India Alliance around 233. So you could argue it is status quo. After all, a poll was only held, a real poll was only held a couple of months ago, so nothing has dramatically changed in terms of seats. But as I said, translating vote share into seats is, with a statutory warning, it's hazardous, injurious to health. What does this show? It shows that the BJP is still, and Mr. Modi is still party number one and leader number one, but the opposition is certainly now in the picture. They clearly are slowly but steadily very much in the game now. Number four, and this is a very significant finding, I believe, of this mood of the nation. A clear sign of change is being witnessed in the states that are going to assembly polls in the next 2 to 4 months. The Congress at the moment, as per our poll, is benefiting from a strong anti-incumbency against the sitting BJP government in Haryana. And even in Maharashtra, the Congress-led alliance is ahead of the BJP-led ruling alliance as per this poll. What does this show? It shows that anti-incumbency is there at the state level as well, that Mr. Modi is unable to pull his party up in state elections, and if these numbers actually hold in the real elections, the momentum will be even further towards the opposition, and you could have more state governments that are opposition ruled than was the case in the previous 5 years. Takeaway number 5. Unemployment is the biggest concern. 55% in this mood of the nation said unemployment is a big concern. 78.2% respondents consider the unemployment situation in India as serious or somewhat serious. What does that mean? It means that when you put Rozgar on one side and let's say a Ram Mandir on the other, it seems that the euphoria of the Ram Mandir has clearly exhausted itself. We saw that in the Lok Sabha polls itself, where the BJP, for example, lost in Ayodhya. But the fact is, little has changed on the ground. In fact, the number of people who say unemployment is a serious issue has gone up. In January 2024, it was 71.1%. It's now up to 78.2%. Net, Rozgar remains the Achilles heel of the Modi government. Takeaway number 6. State chief ministers across the country are experiencing anti-incumbency to lesser or greater degree. Loss of jobs and stagnant incomes are still being seen as crucial issues, and whoever is in power is struggling now to cope with this growing frustration, anger, and this cuts across party lines. Takeaway number 7. Rahul Gandhi is now the undisputed leader number 1 of opposition ranks. I recall a year or two ago we would raise the question, KBC, Kaun Banega Challenger? I think that question has been settled. In fact, ever since he's become leader of the opposition, his ratings have risen. 24% have found his performance to be excellent in parliament, and another 24% have found it to be good. Now, Rahul Gandhi's popularity at the moment is twice as great as any other India alliance face. So clearly, those who today are looking for an opposition face are looking at Rahul Gandhi as their mascot. Takeaway number 8. An interesting question was asked in the mood of the nation. Who do you hold responsible for the paper leaks in exams? 28%, the highest number, blamed the center. In a sense, issues like NEET are issues that are roiling on the ground. And it is clear that the center can't pass the buck, at least in the popular perception, for conducting exams poorly onto the states. This is another issue that is being flagged off in the polls, which the BJP in particular will have to be concerned about. Takeaway number 9. 55%, a majority, believe the NDA will complete a 5-year term. In that sense, you could argue that a large number of people are saying that their vote in 2024 was a vote for continuity, but also a vote for a strong opposition. You want Mr. Modi to continue as Prime Minister, but you also want a strong opposition. Net, the Prime Minister may be slightly down, but he's clearly not out. Takeaway number 10. The Congress's gains at the moment are coming mainly from the regional parties and not so much from the BJP. So it's the regional parties who are slowly getting squeezed by a rising Congress. Net net, when I look at all these numbers, I would say we are in a stage best described as an intermission. You could argue, as I've been saying for a long time, that after a decade of bruising politics, Indians are looking for a bit of a break. And as they say, picture abhi baki hai. As a postscript, let me say this. There are many of you out there who wonder whether we should rely on pollsters for any information anymore given what happened in the exit polls. The truth of the matter is that while, as I said at the outset, pollsters suffer at the moment from a huge credibility deficit, you still hope that a poll with a large sample size, rigorously done with transparency, can maybe provide you a better sense of which way the wind is blowing or hawa kis taraf chal rahi hai, more than perhaps just a conversation over a dinner table. Net net, and I want to say this one last time, what this poll shows is that June 2024 was not an aberration. Yes, some of us were taken by surprise by some of the results, but the truth of the matter is India is entering once again a much more competitive phase in politics and electoral politics in particular. Think about it. That was the Straight Bat. Do of course subscribe to my YouTube channel for many more such videos. For now, stay well, stay safe. Jai Hind. Namaskar.